When starting an electrical business wiring houses, it's important to understand how square footage is calculated to avoid misunderstandings and ensure fair pricing. Typically, habitable rooms are included in the square footage calculation. This encompasses bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchens, living rooms, dining rooms, and family rooms. Closets are generally included, as are interior hallways and common areas. Garages and finished basements are also included if they are heated and cooled. Sunrooms and enclosed porches contribute to the total square footage. Finished attics used as living space are also factored in. On the other hand, certain areas are typically excluded from the square footage calculation. Unfinished basements do not count toward the total. Crawl spaces are excluded. Open porches and decks are not included. Patios are also excluded. Garages and basements that are not heated and cooled are not factored into the square footage. Attics that are not finished or used as living space are also excluded. There are a few other considerations to keep in mind. Square footage calculations typically include the exterior walls, but some builders may exclude them. It is important to clarify whether the exterior walls are included in the calculation. Areas with sloped ceilings may be partially included in the square footage if they meet certain height requirements. Bay windows can extend the square footage of a room, but it's important to verify if they are included in the calculation. Permanent built-in features, such as fireplaces, bookshelves, and entertainment centers, are usually not included in the square footage. Unfinished areas, such as attics and basements, may be eligible for inclusion in the square footage if they are later finished. To avoid being overcharged or ripped off, it's important to follow these steps. Firstly, get a written contract that clearly outlines the square footage being quoted. This provides a clear understanding of what you are paying for. Secondly, request a floor plan or drawing that shows the exact dimensions of the house. This allows you to verify the accuracy of the square footage calculation. Thirdly, compare the square footage of the house to similar homes in the area. This helps you determine if the quoted square footage is reasonable. Fourthly, hire a reputable contractor who has experience in electrical installations. A qualified contractor will understand the square footage calculations and provide an accurate quote. Fifthly, get multiple quotes from different contractors before making a decision. This allows you to compare prices and services. It's important to understand electrical wiring in residential buildings involves knowledge of the National Electrical Code, or NEC. The NEC provides standards for safe electrical installations. Some of the key aspects of residential electrical wiring include service entrance, branch circuits, grounding, and bonding. The service entrance is the point where electrical power enters the house from the utility company. It typically includes a service drop or service lateral, a meter, and a main disconnect. The size of the service entrance depends on the electrical load of the house. Branch circuits are circuits that extend from the service panel to various outlets, lights, and appliances throughout the house. The NEC specifies the types and sizes of conductors, overcurrent protection devices, and wiring methods that can be used for branch circuits. Common branch circuit ratings are 15 amps and 20 amps. Grounding and bonding are essential for safety. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, tripping a circuit breaker or fuse and preventing electrical shock. Bonding connects all metal parts of the electrical system together to create a low impedance path for fault current. Some examples of common wiring methods include non-metallic sheath cable, or NN cable, also known as Romex, which is commonly used for branch circuits in residential buildings. It consists of two or more insulated conductors enclosed in a non-metallic sheath. Electrical metallic tubing, or IMT, is a thin-walled metal conduit used to protect conductors. It is often used in exposed locations or where greater mechanical protection is required. Rigid metal conduit, or RMC, is a thick-walled metal conduit used in harsh environments or where maximum mechanical protection is required. Some important considerations in electrical wiring are load calculations, voltage drop, and conductor sizing. Load calculations are performed to determine the total electrical load of the house. This information is used to size the service entrance, feeders, and branch circuits. Voltage drop is the decrease in voltage along a conductor due to its resistance. The NEC specifies maximum voltage drop limits for branch circuits and feeders. Conductor sizing is determined by the ampacity of the conductor, which is the maximum current it can carry safely. The NEC provides tables that list the ampacities of different types and sizes of conductors. Some common electrical components in residential wiring are outlets, switches, light fixtures, and appliances. Outlets provide a point of connection for electrical devices. Switches control the flow of electricity to lights and other devices. Light fixtures provide illumination. Appliances use electrical power to perform specific tasks. The NEC requires that all electrical work be performed by qualified personnel. It's important to hire a licensed electrician to ensure that the electrical work is done safely and in accordance with the NEC. Here are some tips for new electrical contractors. Firstly, obtain the necessary licenses and permits. Most jurisdictions require electricians to be licensed and to obtain permits before performing electrical work. Secondly, stay up to date on the NEC. The NEC is updated every 3 years, so it's important to stay current on the latest requirement. Thirdly, invest in quality tools and equipment. This will help you perform your work efficiently and safely. Fourthly, build relationships with suppliers and other contractors. This can help you get better prices on materials and find new job opportunities. Fifthly, provide excellent customer service. This will help you build a good reputation and attract repeat business. Understanding square footage in relation to electrical work helps in providing accurate estimates. The square footage of a house is a significant factor in determining the scope and cost of electrical wiring. A larger house generally requires more wiring, outlets, fixtures, and labor. This translates to higher material and labor costs. When estimating the cost of electrical work, contractors often use a price per square foot as a starting point. This price can vary depending on the complexity of the project, the quality of materials used, and the contractor's overhead costs. For example, wiring a new house will typically cost more per square foot than simply replacing a few outlets in an existing house. This is because new construction involves running new wiring throughout the entire house, while replacing outlets is a much simpler task. The type of electrical work also affects the cost per square foot. Installing new lighting fixtures will typically cost more than simply replacing existing fixtures. This is because new lighting installations often require running new wiring and installing new electrical boxes. Upgrading an electrical panel will also typically cost more than simply adding a new circuit. This is because upgrading an electrical panel involves disconnecting the entire house from the power grid and installing a new panel. To provide an accurate estimate, it's important to consider all of the factors that affect the cost of electrical work. This includes the size of the house, the type of electrical work, the quality of materials used, and the contractor's overhead costs. One way to avoid misunderstandings about square footage is to use a standard measurement method. The most common method is to measure the exterior dimensions of the house, including all finished living areas. This includes bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchens, living rooms, dining rooms, family rooms, closets, interior hallways, common areas, garages, and finished basements if heated and cooled, sunrooms, enclosed porches, and finished attics used as living space. It does not include unfinished basements, crawl spaces, open porches and decks, patios, garages, and basements that are not heated and cooled, or attics that are not finished or used as living space. When providing an estimate, it's important to clearly state the square footage that is being used to calculate the cost. This will help the homeowner understand how the estimate was determined. It's also important to be transparent about the materials that will be used. This includes the type and size of wiring, the type of outlets and switches, and the type of lighting fixtures. The NEC outlines minimum requirements for electrical installations. Some common misconceptions about electrical wiring should also be kept in mind. For instance, the misconception that any wire size can be used for any application. The NEC specifies the correct wire size for each circuit based on its ampacity. Using the wrong wire size can be dangerous and can lead to overheating and fires. Another misconception is that ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are only required in bathrooms and kitchens. GFCIs are required in all wet locations, including bathrooms, kitchens, garages, and outdoor areas. A common misconception is that aluminum wiring is unsafe. Aluminum wiring can be safe if it is properly installed and maintained. However, it's important to use connectors that are specifically designed for use with aluminum wiring. Also, another misconception is that you can add as many outlets as you want to a circuit. The NEC limits the number of outlets that can be added to a circuit based on its capacity. Overloading a circuit can be dangerous and can lead to overheating and fires. A final misconception is that you can do your own electrical work without a permit. In most jurisdictions, a permit is required for electrical work. This is to ensure that the work is done safely and in accordance with the NEC. Remember, understanding square footage calculations and electrical wiring principles are crucial for starting a successful electrical business and providing fair and accurate services. Staying informed about the NEC, building codes, and industry best practices will help you avoid legal issues and ensure the safety of your clients. Continuous learning and professional development are key to staying ahead in the field and providing top-notch electrical services.